Well, I don't think that this conference could have been held 3 or 4 years ago. There really has been an intellectual revolution as suggested both generally and Nick and Fred Wertheimer's remarks, that small donor democracy really is at the center of contemporary campaign finance reform in a way it wasn't the day before yesterday, frankly. So I think that we should begin by thinking seriously about small donor democracy, because there's a systematic confusion here between small donor donations of $200 a year or a campaign cycle and small donors. Now, if you're a family of 50,000, if you're an average family in the United States, have 2 kids, making $60,000 a year, are you going to give $200 to a presidential campaign? No. No. What small donor democracy is about is at the present time, is a reallocation of political power, a desirable one, from the super rich to people making $150,000 a year. Those are the small donors who can just give $200 and then maximize their say by getting another $800 in there. We should expect, if this were passed, of course there will be some people, members perhaps of the really, ordinary people making, let's say, $30,000. Lots of people make $30,000 a year in this country. Would be responsible for such a family to give $200? No. They have lots of other things to do with their money. Maybe some really committed members of the National Rifle Association will do it. But this is very much, we should not confuse small donors with small donations. That's the first point. I'm very much in favor of this transformation. I've been arguing for it for many years. But we should understand what we are doing in this congressional and presidential reform. The second point brought up by Bob Bauer, and I quite agree with it, which is, what are the principles we should articulate? Now, much of the conversation, especially the social science conversation, is consequentialist in character. Will campaign reform of the kind contemplated make for better politics and things of this kind, better candidates? There is a question of principle. One person, one vote, one democracy dollar. That is to say, in a book of mine with Ian Ayres, we argue for democracy dollars. I called it Patriot dollars, but the Patriot Act has messed that one up. But democracy dollars is fine. In every presidential election cycle, every registered voter gets 50 Patriot dollars that he can spend on the internet, or if 140 million voters voted with their Patriot dollars as well, that would be $7 billion. But it's framed not in terms of food stamps, but in terms of one person, one vote, the fundamental principle of political equality. That, of course, if someone made $30,000 a year, or even 10, and she was given $50 that she could only spend for politics, she would spend it. And if she didn't, of course, every candidate in the country would be trying to pick her pocket by organizing and actually trying to reach people who are making $30,000 a year, as this program will not. Let there be no doubt about it, that this, meaning the existing congressional and presidential proposals, which are in advance, in advance, but let's be analytic about it. This one vote, $1, or equal votes and equal dollars, is not the kind of argument that it's a kind of argument that everybody understands, of course, because it's right and does not depend on the consequences. It says correctly that do we really justify one person, one vote on the ground that it'll create better candidates? No, it's because it's expressing our equal status as citizens, just as patriot dollars, or in the new formulation, democracy dollars, does. The consequences, of course, there are many consequences. Let me name a couple. First of all, it eliminates the millionaire problem. Just eliminates it under the present system. You see, because if Bloomberg, for example, if everybody had their $50, right, and if Bloomberg decided to buy his way into the presidency, as he was almost going to do, he would then voluntarily not go into this subsidized $7 billion market. And that means all the money he would have raised would have gone to his opponents. So even Bloomberg would have to think twice before saying, oh, I'm going to spend my own money, when he's giving money to his opponents. There are many other features of real small donor democracy that Ayers and I elaborate in our book, which still represents, it seems to me, by far, the realization of democracy of small donors, small donor democracy. Thank you.